Good morning students, welcome back to English class. Today I am going to continue poem 5, The Ball poem by John Barrowman. Students, in the previous class I have already completed a short note about the poet, style of the poem, central idea of the poem and new words used in the poem. Let's have a glance at today's content. Today I am going to cover up summary of the poem, explanation of the poem along with the poetic devices used and message conveyed through the poem. Let's see the summary of the poem. This poem is a psychological study of man's reaction to some material loss in his life. Of course, the first loss in life is very shocking. Gradually, man learns to cope up with the loss. In this poem, a little boy who is very attached to his ball, playing with the ball, it just slipped from his hand, bounced and bounced happily along the road. Finally, it fell into the water. Initial reaction of the boy was, of course, great shocking and grief. And the ball was because the ball was very dear to him. He stood stupefied and helpless. Gradually he learns an important lesson in life, that one has to bear any kind of loss that comes in his way and move on in life instead of brooding over the loss. This is how I have summarized the poem. Let's see the explanation, student. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. Here, what is the boy now? Actually, the poet who was standing far from the boy, watching him playing with the ball, saw that the boy lost his ball. So in this opening line, the poet is asking, what is the feeling of the boy now? What is the boy now? What is the feeling of the boy now who has lost his ball? He further asks, what is he to do? He further asks, what is the boy going to do now? I saw it go. I refers to the poet. It refers to the ball. I saw it go. The poet saw the ball merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. The poet saw the ball bouncing merrily, means jumping up and down happily down the street, and finally happily it fell into the water and lost forever. This is how the explanation of first 4 lines is over. Let's see the poetic devices used in these 4 lines. See students, anaphora is used in line 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. What is anaphora? Already it was told in the previous poem. Still then let me repeat. Anaphora is the repeated expression or repetition of the same words in 2 or more consecutive lines. Here you can see what is repeated in both the lines. Merrily is repeated in both the lines. So this is what we call anaphora. Second poetic device is used, it is repetition. When 2 words, the same words are repeated in the same line for 2 or more times, it is repetition. What it is repeated here, so it is repetition. Apart from this, one more poetic device is used here, that is imagery. Imagery means forming an imagination. Here in this line, merrily bouncing down the street, you can frame an imagination. You can visualize this, the ball bouncing merrily down the street. You can visualize. So this is imagery. One more poetic device is used, that is enjambment. Merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. It is continuously, this line is continued, repeated in this next line. There is no punctuation mark after then. So it is enjambment. So students, in these 4 lines, anaphora, repetition, imagery and enjambment are used. Let's move to the next stanza, next lines. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate sacking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. In these lines, the poet presents the reaction of the child to the lost ball. The poet says, there is no use of consoling the boy. He's saying no use to say, oh, there are other balls. The boy, he can't be consoled. If the poet offers him other balls, because the ball is symbolic of his childhood memories. Metaphorically, the poet compared the ball with his young days. Finally, what is the reaction of the boy? What is his condition to this lost ball? An ultimate sacking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. What is the condition of the boy? The boy, an extreme grief overpowers the boy. He stands there motionless and trembling. He stares down the place where the ball has disappeared in the water of the harbor. Students, the loss of the ball in the harbor actually reminds him of his childhood memories associated with the ball which have been lost in the harbor of life. Perhaps all the childhood memories created a sense of grief inside the boy, and the boy is unbearable for his loss. So he is grief stricken. You can see he stands rigid, trembling, staring down because he is not able to forget his ball, because along with the ball his childhood memories are associated. Poetic device used here is enjambment, because an ultimate, beginning from an ultimate, here full stop is there is no punctuation mark after these lines. So enjambment is used here. Let's move to the next lines. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. Students, in these lines, the poet actually he is saying that what is his responsibilities, how he understood his responsibilities. The poet does not want to interfere the boy. He is saying that I would not intrude on him. Intrude means interfere or interrupt. The poet knows that hardly it takes a dime. A dime means 10 cents in the US. A dime to buy a new ball, but he says another ball is worthless. Although it is not expensive, a dime, another ball is worthless. He says so. Why the poet is saying so? Because the new ball will not bring the sense of belongingness to the boy. The boy's memories and feelings associated with the ball can't be brought back. Further, the poet says that now the boy learns his first responsibility in a world of possessions, that is in a materialistic world. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions, in the materialistic world. He understands his responsibility of taking care of his things. Here the poet wants to say that if he had given him a dime to buy a new ball, he would not have understood the value of loss. He would not have understood his responsibility. The poet says it is worthless to buy another ball with a dime, because the child would not learn the lesson of life, that nothing in this world lasts forever and one should take care of one's belongings. Now, after losing the ball, the child realizes his first responsibility in the materialistic world, and also he learns acceptance of loss, that nothing lasts forever. This lesson he learned after losing the ball. Next, people will take balls. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. In these lines, the poet is showing the harsh reality of life, that loss is inevitable. Gain and loss is the part and parcel of our life that continues throughout our life. Addressing the little boy, the poet says that in this materialistic world, things will either be snatched away by the people or will be lost in one or the other way. Once it is lost, it cannot be brought back. The poet says that the boy has to learn that in this materialistic world, many of his belongings will be lost, be it the worldly things or the relationship he is in possession of. Further, the poet says that money is external, which can buy materialistic things but has nothing to do with our emotions. Money can't compensate our emotional losses. Similarly, memories associated with anything or any person that we have lost can't be brought back with money. So this is how these lines are explained. What are the poetic devices used in these lines? See, balls, balls, this is repeated in the same line, it is repetition. Buys a ball back. B sound is there, the repetition of the same sound words, B consonant sound is there, it is alliteration in this line. These poetic devices, repetition and alliteration, are used in these lines. Let's go for the last lines. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand, knowing what every man must one day know and must know many days how to stand up. Students, in these lines, these are the concluding lines. Through these lines, the poet presents the supreme reality of life, that one must learn to face and forget the loss in life, one must learn to stand up in life. Through this process of losing the boy is learning behind his desperate eyes an important lesson of life. Okay, the question arises, why his eyes were desperate? His eyes are desperate because he has lost his ball and all his childhood memories associated with the ball and lost all hope of getting back his ball. So through this process the boy is learning behind his desperate eyes an important lesson of life. What is that? That is the epistemology of loss, the knowledge of loss. He is learning to cope up with the loss. He is learning how to face the loss and how to deal with the loss. The boy is learning how to stand up against the sense of lost things, how to accept the miseries of life and stand up again. This truth of life, this basic principle of life, everyone knowing that every man must one day know. So this basic principle everyone must know, everyone must learn, and most men have the knowledge of facing the loss and to move on in their life. Most know many days how to stand up. Most of the men, they have the knowledge of facing the loss and to move on in their life. Let's see what are the poetic devices used in these lines. In the last second line, students, men must, M sound is repeated, consonant sound, so it is alliteration, and in the last line, most, many, M sound is repeated, it is also alliteration. So this is how the explanation is over. Now message conveyed through the poem. The poem imparts a deep message that loss is inevitable, irreparable and irreplaceable. Loss is a part of life. Nothing in life remains forever. Everyone is bound to lose something in the course of life. Need is to stand up against the odd miseries and suffering, against all the loss, be it a materialistic loss or our dear or near ones, and move forward in life. Need is to cope up with the loss, face and forget the loss. The harsh reality that lost things never come back make people strong enough to live their lives by accepting this truth of life. And students, one more great message is hidden in this poem, and that is money is external, which can buy only materialistic things. It can't buy our emotions, our memories and feelings associated with something or somebody in life. Hopefully students, you have enjoyed today's class and well understood the explanation, poetic devices used, and the message conveyed in the poem. Thank you.